Wiggle. Uh, uh. And we live. Yo, what's up with the party people and the place to be? You are now tuned in to TreeTvRadio, the #1 media source for BBW, SSBBW, and plus size women and the men who love them. Yay. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a very special interview going on today with my co-host, Nikki in the Hizzle. What's up with it, Nick Knack?
What's up? How you doing, homie?
Man, I'm chilling like a stone cold villain. Super excited and nervous at the same time. TreeTvRadio is doing a tell-all interview, ladies and gentlemen. We have my co-host right here at Lovely Leslie 423 on Instagram, who will be interviewing me. This will probably be very interesting for a lot of people who don't know my background and where I come from and how I got into the gizang. So with that being said, let's get right on into it. I'm going to hand this thing over to Lovely Leslie and let her do her thing. Yay. Shout out to all the party people right now that's tuned in. Let's get it.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Hold on, give me a second. What was I about to do? Oh, I was about to pull up the chat. Because they got this little restream chat that pulls up all the chats into one thing. And man, I'll be forgetting to pull the damn thing up. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. So yeah, let's get into it. Leslie, Nick Knack, let's go.
Okay, let's go. So, before YouTube, before Facebook, before the club, before BBW, tell me about Kenneth Johnson. Who is that man? Where you from? What you wanted to do? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, that's a very, very good question. Well, I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California, born at USC Medical Center. And I would say through like my earlier years, I was probably a lost and confused little kid who suffered from a lot of traumas. So, as a result, I took to the streets. I really didn't have no foundation at home. So, I took to the streets at an early age. And by the time of 9 or 10, I was like full-fledged into the streets. And as a result of that, I started getting into a lot of trouble. I was always a smart kid, a good kid, but I started getting in trouble, which led to like a life of crime, me breaking the law, getting locked up on a regular and consistent basis as a teenager, as a youth, going to juvenile halls, camps, YAs, and I was like headed to the inevitable, which, is like life in prison, sole death sentence, or actually dying. I was headed to, a road of destruction. I had a lot of great opportunities because I could play sports real well. I played basketball and volleyball, and I had a couple of scholarships to pursue my athletic ability and go to the NBA. But my mind was like, real focused on the streets. And, by that time I was just lost. Real lost and gone in the game. And really wasn't no hope for me at that point. And I kept getting in trouble. I dropped out of school. Because as I was getting locked up, they knew I had this gift, this athletic ability, so they were trying to work with me. Like the system, the juvenile halls, the camps, the YAs, to where they was even giving me special privileges, like letting me leave the jail facilities to go work out and practice with Pepperdine University College. You know, because they wanted me to finish my last year. I was locked up at the time, and they wanted me to finish my last year in high school when I got out and go to college. So they was prepping me towards that. And you know, I got out, I think when I was like 16. And I went to school for a little bit, but it was back to that street life. And I just blew that. Blew the scholarships, blew that opportunity and everything. And ended up getting myself into some super big trouble. You know, because like I said, I had been breaking the law since I was like 9 or 10 years old. Camps, juvenile halls, YAs. I had never been to the penitentiary because I wasn't of age yet. But by this time, I was like, you know, 16 or 17. And I got into some big trouble, which resulted in me doing a long prison sentence. And I can say when I got to prison, that really changed my perspective on things, because now I know what was it about. You know, you all hear about all the prison stories. You know, I had uncles, cousins, you know, family members, dad, that went all through that prison system. And you hear stories and stuff, you know, and I guess these stories wasn't powerful enough to scare me or detour me from going down the same path. But when you get there, that's when, you know, shit get real. And I was like, wow, you know, this is what I have subjected myself to. And then, you know, it took its toll on me mentally. Because I was like, wow, I had all this great opportunity. I could have been a professional basketball player playing for the Los Angeles Lakers, playing with Kobe Bryant and all the greats, because I had that much ability. And here I am, locked up at the age of 17 with a 10-year straight sentence to do. And I can say that, like, you know, really changed me. You know, I had all that time to think, to re-educate myself, to face some of my traumas, you know, to heal myself mentally in a sense. And I can say that that was like the turning point in my life, where I was like, you know what, I'm better than this. I started loving myself, and I said, man, I'm too good for prison. I said, wow, how can a human being subject itself to this? You know, and it's like at that point I learned from my mistakes. And I said, you know, I made a promise to myself, like, I will never, ever subject myself to a place like prison, where your soul is dead. You know, and if you don't safeguard your mentality, it has a strong possibility of destroying your mental. So, you know, from that point on, it was like real easy for me. I was like, you know what? I'm never putting myself in this position again. You know, they say the best thing in the air is being a square. So, you know, when I stepped out that door, I was square as the pool table, twice as green. You know? And, you know, towards the end of my prison sentence, like I said, I went into prison. I was 17 when I got locked up, but I got charged as an adult. You know, because, you know, I had already been messing up prior to that, and they felt I was a menace to society. And the crime I committed, you know, was an adult act. So they was like, yeah, man, you out here acting like an adult. We finna charge you as an adult. So I got charged as an adult, even though I was a juvenile, and got sent to the penitentiary anyway. You know, but towards the end of that 10-year prison sentence, I remember specifically I was sitting on my bunk, and, you know, I think I had about like 6 to 8 months left, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, because I was 17 when I first got locked up, and now I'm 27, finna step back out into a whole new world. Got locked up in 92, stepped out in 2002. Right. And so I'm like, wow, it's a whole new world out here. You know, they got this thing called www.internet.com. You know, I'm seeing all over my television and my cell, and I was like, damn, what the hell is the internet? And, you know, I'm getting bits and pieces of information. You know, when I call home to my people, they telling me about it. And, you know, and I knew right then and there, I was like, you know what? I got to find out about this internet when I get back on the streets. So one day while I'm on my bunk bed in my cell, I'm watching TV. And I'm watching Inside Edition. Because like I said, at this time, I've been locked up 10 years. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I know I'm stepping into a new world, a www internet world. Totally changed, you know, from at the time when I left it. And I'm watching Inside Edition. And a segment comes on about a BBW club. And I always been into super thick BBW, plus size women, whatever you want to call it. Fat ladies, yes. Yes. Come now. You know, whatever terminology they want to use to, you know, categorize the type of women I was attracted to. And, you know, ain't no shame in my game and what I like. And so I was always open about it. You know, all my little girlfriends I had in the past were chubby. And I liked it like that. And so I'm watching Inside Edition, you know, back to the sizzle, you know, when I'm finna step back into this brand new society. I see a Inside Edition, they had this segment on BBW clubs. And this particular BBW club was in Culver City in California. And I was familiar with Culver City. You know, that's right around my little stomping grounds. And so I was intrigued. I was like, wow. A BBW club. I mean, it's a club full of women that I like. And so I had this little memo pad up under my pillow on my bunk bed. And I used to write in there things to do. Because I had like this whole little plan on when I had, for when I was getting out of prison. And I was just documenting everything, you know, a list of things I wanted to do from this point to that point A to point B to point, you know, and so on and so on. And so I grabbed my little memo book from up under my pillow, and I said, go to Club Curves. I wrote down, go to Club Curves in Culver City when you get out, BBW Club. Bam. So, you know, I shut it down. You know, shut my little book, put it back up in the pillow, and life goes on. I continue to do the rest of my prison sentence, and I stepped out into this brand new world at the age of 27. So I had did 10 years straight from 17 to 27, and I was a new man. You know, I wasn't a little hothead youngster, you know, who thought he had something to prove, out there being negative, breaking the law. I wasn't that man anymore. You know, I was a very positive, outgoing individual. And I was real eager. I was real eager to be successful, to do good, and just to get my life together. And throughout that 10 years I had been down, I started writing music. And I had a love for music always as a youngster and stuff. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna try to jump into the music game when I get out. So throughout that whole 10 years, I was perfecting my craft, writing music. A lot of people, you know, would compare me to Snoop Dogg, said I had that voice like Snoop. You know, and so that was like a real good motivation for me as well too. So, you know, I stepped out with intentions on jumping in the music game, the music industry. But at that time, I was seeing what was going on in the music game. And one of my partners I was locked up with, who we became very close, you know, as homies, friends, day ones, is a very popular artist who was signed to G Unit West by the name of Spotterlow. So me and Spotterluck was locked up together, and we was in there both perfecting our craft. And, you know, and saying, you know, when we step out, we gonna take over the game. Spotterluck had got out like maybe 2 years before me, and he did what he said he was gonna do. He got out, stepped out into the game, and had some good success, a good run. He had signed 50 Cent, and he had the whole G Unit West movement popping at that time, right? So, you know, I had some contacts, some connects in the music industries for, you know, when I was stepping out and wanted to do my thing. But, you know, when that time came and I stepped out, and I'm pursuing this musical goal, getting into the game, I'm looking around, I'm like, damn, you know, all these dudes is rapping about negativity. They running around with bulletproof vests, you know, guns. And I said, man, I'm not gonna do nothing to jeopardize myself to go back to prison, because I'm fresh out on parole, high risk parole. You know, so that means I had to do 3 years. No getting off early, nothing. So it was like, you know, I was still kind of like locked up in my mind on the streets. You know, yeah, I had my freedom in the sense I could go this place and that, well, not 50 miles. You know, it's like they had a 50-mile radius on me. You know, I couldn't go 50 miles away from my house. You know, PO doing numerous pop-ups, trying to catch me slipping. You know, because the name of the game is they don't want you to be successful and finish parole, because that would mean they would lose their jobs. You know, they want you to fuck up. They want to keep you in the system. That's how the money flow keep going. You know, if men were to learn their lesson from going to prison and not go back no more, hey, that whole system would crumble. But it operates based on people filling it up on a regular and continuous basis. You know, and I just told myself, like, nah, I'm done. It's like when I walked out that prison gates, it's like I flushed it down a toilet, and it was like a part of my life that I just wanted to forget about, in a sense. You know, let it have no effect towards my future. So I said, you know, and I had a couple other opportunities, major record labels hit me up, but, you know, you got to rap about where you come from, and this and that and that and this. And I really wasn't on that type of time. I was like, man, I'm not finna put myself in a position to go back to prison trying to pursue a rap career. So I kind of like, you know, put the rap thing on hold. You know, and I start hanging out at the BBW clubs. You know, like I said, I knew about Club Curves. And by the time I had got out, you know, and I looked it up on the internet, they had moved to Redondo. And so, like, that was like my introduction to the BBW community. And that's who Kenneth Johnson, aka Mr. TreeTvRadio, was at the age of 27. Yeah. And I'll give it back to you, Miss Nick Nack.
With that being said, so what exactly got you into promoting events, into the club game? Is one thing going to them, but actually being actively, you know, putting events together for the BBW community?
As I said, I had stepped out into the BBW scene, and I started going to the BBW clubs just as a regular patron. These are the type of women that I'm attracted to, who I want to be around. And it's a whole club, a whole environment for men like me who appreciate these type of women's. So, you know, I first step into this scene, I'm having a ball, right? And I'm just like a regular club goer patron. At that time, Club Curves was popping. It was in Redondo. And I would attend, you know, that club on a regular and frequent basis. I think they were open like every Friday night then. But then, you know, it got kind of like popular in a sense, you know, because I'm not the only man who love and appreciate big, beautiful women. There's millions of men around the globe. So it became kind of popular. And so that place started packing up. Then next thing you know, the riffraff jump off, because you know now you got everybody and your mama there. You know, I think when it first started off in Culver City, it was predominantly white, but you know, black folks, they like BBW too. You know what I'm saying? So you know, you just had Latinos, blacks, some of everybody there. But as I said, this thing got real big as far as popularity, and the riffraff start happening to where it started being gang violence at the BBW club, which totally just, you know, didn't make no sense to me, because I'm like, you niggas is trying to act tough around BBWs? Like, nigga, this is the BBW club, nigga. Like, you supposed to come here, you know, super duper happy, having fun, indulging in pleasures. Ain't no reason to be trying to act tough at the big girl club. That just didn't compute in my mind. So it kind of like disgusted me when that type of stuff start happening. And so, you know, I start asking around. I'm like, man, you know, ain't no other BBW clubs, man. You know, because these niggas, they didn't mess things up. You know, they got the fighting and shooting, people getting shot, and you know, bullets ain't got no name on it. I'm like, man, I'm just trying to come up here and have a good time. I'm not trying to go back to jail, you know, indulge in the BBW club. How would that look? Hey, Tree, what you back in here for? Oh, man, I was at the BBW. You was at the what? I was at the BBW club, man. I got into it with these niggas. I mean, you know, the people that was cheering for me when I left, they would be so disappointed in me, you know? So I started asking around, like, hey, man, you know, ain't no other, you know, around that's open. And they was like, yeah, man, Tree, it's one in Orange County. I said, oh, yeah, that's out there with the white folks, huh? So I said, yeah, man, what's the name of that club? And so, you know, at that time it was called the Butterfly Lounge, right? And it was in the OC. So I went out there, you know, stepped in the door, bam, we back on. I'm having a good time, you know, partying, get my little drink on, dancing, you know, intermingling with people, meeting fabulous people, all within the BBW community. And one of the fabulous women that I did meet was Goddess Patty, and she was one of the people that showed me super duper love. Like, I'm talking about, like, right when I stepped through the door, she became like big sis, and you know, she liked smoking that sticky icky, just like me. So you know, we bonded on that note as well. And her guy was at the time was DJ Skeletor. He was a DJ at the BBW clubs, you know, so I got kind of like cool with him as well, you know, through Patty. So, you know, I started attending this BBW club called the Butterfly Lounge on a regular basis. And like I said, I met all kind of little fabulous people up there that I befriended and who are, you know, friends today. And this is like, you know, well over 20 years ago, you know, when I first stepped out, 2002. No, it was later than that. My bad. Stepped out 2002. This is like maybe 2-3 years into the game. Maybe like 2003-ish, 4, somewhere around there. At the time when I was going to Butterfly Lounge. And so yeah, I'm having a ball, you know, and trying to figure out what I was going to do as far as pursuing my music career. And one of my buddies, he like cracked a little joke. He said, man, you like these BBWs, man, why don't you start making songs for BBWs? And man, like a light bulb went off in my head. And I was like, ah. And so from that point on, bam, I went to work. So start going to the studio, start recording, you know, getting these vocals right, because I had, you know, been out the studio for a while. And so I said, yeah, I'm gonna start making songs geared towards big, beautiful women. That's something positive. It's not nothing that'll get me back in jail. Because, you know, today, in these days, these youngsters be trying to live their raps. Like Young Thug, look at him, he got a RICO case. You know, that's crazy as hell. Like, aren't you just a little rapper? And I like Young Thug. I mean, I don't know any of his music or anything, but I watched him on a couple of interviews, and I just liked his personality, per se. And, you know, next thing you know, this youngster, you know, trying to live his raps, and he's facing football numbers, you know, as far as prison sentence, which is crazy. So, you know, as far as the music game, I found a positive outlet. You know, I said, yeah, man, I'm gonna start making songs for big, beautiful women. And so, you know, from that point on, I went to work. And I had left the BBW community for a little bit, meaning that I had stopped going to the clubs. You know, I was in the studio doing my thing, you know, getting this whole little project together to start, you know, making songs for big, beautiful women. And when I came back to the scene, which was the Butterfly Lounge, I had noticed it was like a change within the club. You know, like it didn't feel the same, it didn't look the same. All my friends I had made and befriended, they wasn't there no more. So I said, damn, where's everybody at? You know, really wasn't nobody that I recognized there. It was like all new faces. It just felt different, right? So I'm like, man, where everybody at? And they was like, man, they over at the other BBW club. I'm like, oh, it's another BBW club? And they's like, yeah, it's in Long Beach. It's called Club Bounce. I said, is that right? And I said, oh, so Skelly and Patty and all them over there? They was like, yeah, man. I said, man, say no more. So, you know, I jumped in my ride, and, you know, I had a MapQuest at the address to Club Bounce. And went over there and found all my friends. You know, DJ Skelly, he was rocking out on the ones and twos. You know, I found the homegirl Goddess Patty. You know, we linked back up, and it was on. And I remember I was standing on the stage next to DJ Skelly while he was DJing, and he had mentioned to me, he was like, man, what's up, man? He said, man, I thought you said you rap, man. I want to hear some of your music and stuff like that. I could play it right here. And I was like, you know what, man, I'm in the process right now making some songs for big, beautiful women. He's like, is that right? I was like, yeah. And I was thinking about, I said, hey, who's the owner of Club Bounce, so I can holler at them and probably perform here. And he told me, he said, her name is Lisa Marie. I said, oh yeah? He said, yeah, there she go over there. And so he had pointed to her. So, mind you, I had met Lisa Marie prior to this. You know, so I had built up a little bit of familiarity with her, and, you know, a little bit of a friendship with her prior to this. But at this time, she wasn't, you know, running Club Bounce. You know, she was doing her modeling thing back then. And so I was like, cool. But let me back up in the story for a little bit. When I had first made the decision to pursue a musical career and have my music strictly geared towards big, beautiful women, Club Curves was popping at the time, and a lady by the name of Shadow ran Club Curves. And so I had initially hit her up first and told her what I was doing, and I like to perform at her club. You know, I create songs for big, beautiful women, and I like to perform at her club. And she told me that was awesome. And but they don't do anything like that there. They don't have a stage set up, and, you know, this and that and this. And so, you know, it's like a no-go per se. And I was a little bit discouraged, but, you know, fast forward again, we at Club Bounce. So I'm like, oh, here's my opportunity again to get this music I'm creating out there. So, you know, I walked up to Lisa Marie, and she had remembered me priorly from when we had met previously and stuff like that. And I told her a little bit about what I was doing, and I told her that I like to perform at her club. And I was even willing to create a theme song for her club, because at that time she was just getting started out, and she had created a big buzz, and She was like the new poppin' Big Beautiful Woman Club, the BBW Club at the time. And she said, "Oh, Tree, you know, we don't do anything like that here, but you know, since I know you and I like you, I think we're going to give you a chance." She said, "What I want you to do is submit that song to me." She said, "You're going to write a theme song for my club, which I don't have." She said, "Submit that song to me, and then we'll take things from there." So I went into the lab and I created a theme song for Club Bounce, and I submitted it to her, and she lost her mind. She's like, "Oh my God, you sound like Snoop and Woody Woo Bam." And from that point on, it was like sky was the limit, because at that time she had the poppin' club stage and everything, and she told me she was going to give me that stage and nobody else could perform on it, which was like a big gift and blessing at the same time. So basically I like took off from there. That was like my reintroduction to the BBW club, but like from a business sense, because now I'm this artist that's making these BBW songs. And at the time, MySpace was popping. That's where, if you were a musical artist into the music game, MySpace was the number one spot where you had your music at. And that's where I streamed all my music at, was on MySpace. I was creating songs, putting them on MySpace, and I was doing something nobody had ever did. I had like a niche crowd, a niche following that grew real fast. And record labels saw what I was doing, and they started hitting me up again, offering me some very lucrative contracts. But they said, "Hey, you got to drop the big girl act." I'm like, "Act? Man, this ain't no act." I really like these type of women, and I feel I'm doing a good service by advocating for them through my music. I'm doing something positive. I'm not finna, sell my soul to you and be rapping about all that negativity, because they wanted me to be like Snoop and rap about that street life, where I've come from, the gang violence, criminal activities, that dumb stuff. And I wasn't with that. I was just, with living my life, like I say, the best thing in there is being a square. So I'm a square as a pool table, twice as green. I'm cool with being a square, doing my thing. And I was making some good money. I was selling ringtones at the time, CDs, t-shirts, all that old good stuff. I had a very nice, good run, so I turned them down and just kept on the independent route. And like I say, my following got massive, like very, very massive. And I actually reached to number one on the MySpace charts. So I was doing good as any of your favorite rappers at the time, that was hitting the charts. And I actually pulled it up on the screen right here. It's like a screenshot. So, that's me in the middle. At that time, remember Tila Tequila, Nikki?
Yeah.
Tila Tequila was popping. And The Game had his LAX album. And so he was number one in Cali. So Tila Tequila was number one on Unsigned. I was number one on Indie. And The Game was number one on major record label. So I was moving just as many units as your favorite artist at the time. I was number one, and I like to say that, BBW was a known thing, at the time, but I would like to say that I'm probably primarily responsible for putting it out there in a global sense, because my music was getting millions of streams, millions of downloads, all over the globe, to where like boosted me to number one in Cali, and I probably was in the top 10 worldwide. And this is like a screenshot on the screen. That's me in the middle. And at that time, when I reached the number one spot, I was at Club Bodacious Nights. That's a club me and my partner Zick, we opened up in Hollywood. So yeah, anyways, we're gonna get to that in a bit. But yeah, so I reached the number 1 on the MySpace charts. And that was, like I said, that was a screenshot right there. I pulled up all the party people they could see. Tila Tequila in the number 1 spot on the sign. That's your boy TREE, number 1 under Indie. And that's the Game, number 1 LAX album at that time. Yeah. So yeah, I was doing real good. Creating my own lane, independent, doing the damn thing, living my best life, you know, living some of my wildest dreams. You know, traveling, doing shows for big beautiful women. Yeah. You know, and so damn, I kind of lost my train of thought. What was I saying before that? I got all this production stuff.
You were living the life.
Yeah. I was living, you know what I'm saying, and everything was good. You know, so I turned down the major record labels, and I had like a very good run, you know, with making songs with big beautiful women and traveling and doing my thing on that aspect. And I started getting into the actual club game. At that time, I had the mind frame of you know, since mainstream didn't want to, you know, accept big beautiful women, I felt that I had the tenacity, the power to, you know, get us up in there per se. You know, my whole mission and goal at the time was bring big beautiful women to Hollywood. Like, we finna be right here, you know, with all the Hollywood elites, you know, doing our thing. You know, if they ain't gonna accept us, we about to create a spot up in this mug. And at that time, I was staying in Hollywood as well too. So as I got into the club game, from the promoter aspect, I had an idea of opening a BBW strip club. Because at the time when I got out of prison, you know, I ain't been around women 10 years, you know. And some of my partners, they take me to the strip club. And at the time, I think the World Series was on. And when we get up in there, I'm like not even paying attention to the women that's on stage, right? I'm like off eating peanuts at the bar, watching the World Series. You know, they having the ball, throwing money, you know, getting drunk. I ain't paying no attention to the women. So, you know, they got the question to me, like, damn, homie, you know, we know you did a lot of time and shit, and whoopty whoop bam. And, you know, they thought something else was going on with me because, you know, I wasn't really reacting to the women at the strip club. And I was like, man, y'all better miss me with that. I said, man, I just like BBWs, man. I like plus size women. All these women, they not my flavor. I was like, where the BBW strip clubs at? And, you know, they like chuckled and laughed. They was like, nah, nigga, ain't none of them, man. They like, ain't no BBW strip clubs, my nigga. I was like, oh, okay. So, you know, from that point on, I had it like fixed in my mind that if I ever had the opportunity, I would like to have or open a BBW strip club, because I know it was millions of men out there like myself who would enjoy that, you know, who frequent a strip club per se and not have to be subjected to one size type of woman. You know, if anything, let's have a variety up in there. Let's get all sizes, shapes up in there. But, you know, typically it'd be like one thing in these strip clubs. It don't be no BBWs rocking the stage, you know, so that was a problem, you know, big problemo. You know, so like I said, you know, if I ever get the opportunity to open up a BBW strip club, I'm gonna do that. And that opportunity came through my homegirl Lisa Marie, you know, who ran Club Bounce. Like I say, she sort of like took me up under her wing like a mentor. She's like a big sis to me. You know what I'm saying? And she spoiled me rotten. You know, gave me any and everything I asked for. Bless her soul. Yeah. She had a club at that time in Hollywood called Volump City. She was doing super successful at Club Bounce. She had that popping 2 nights a week because her thing was popping so much She had Saturday initially, and on Friday night at the venue she was at, which was the PCH Club, they had a reggae night on Friday nights. She was doing so well and bringing so much money to that establishment, they decided to boot the reggae night and give her Friday nights as well. So she had Fridays and Saturdays popping over there at Club Bounce at the PCH Club. And man, people were traveling from all over the globe because they had the hotel connected right there to the club. Just take a few steps and you stumble right into the hotel lobby from the club. So you ain't got to go nowhere. You can get drunk, have a good time, and not risk having to drive home. It wasn't no Uber back then. Not risk having to drive home, killing yourself or killing somebody or getting a DUI.
Mm-hmm.
So it was set up real nice to where people took vacations to come out here to experience Club Bounce, because wasn't nothing going on all over the globe at that time like it was in Cali. Cali was like the mecca for BBW partying and clubbing and stuff. Like I say, Shadow, she was like the first one who started it all, who took that chance and decided to open up a BBW club. And from there it just led on to other establishments opening, and the buzz got big and everything. So Lisa Marie had this Volump City club in Hollywood, because she popping over there at Club Bounce. She got 2 nights a week, so she wanted to start branching out. So they decided to come to Hollywood, and they do a club called Volump City, which didn't crack off so well. We don't know if it was the logistics for people. They didn't want to come to Hollywood. The parking was terrible. That's one thing I could say. You got to have some nice, I like to call it fat friendly. If you're going to have a establishment or an event for big, beautiful women, the spot has to be fat friendly. Meaning that, has to be comfortable, plushy. A lot of these super duper sexy ladies be carrying all that lusciousness on these high heels they be walking on. And, you have to think about all those things per se, when you do a BBW event. And so I don't think maybe this club, Volump City in Hollywood, was that fat friendly for all the ladies per se. And so, it really didn't take off. And so she was kind of undecided on what she was going to do. But the club also had a adult license and a strip club, a stripper pole, right? And so, while we was in Vegas one time, we had, because they also had these Vegas bashes, and I'll tell you about that in a bit too. That's where people from all over the world come for a 7-day event to party like rock stars, lock down a whole hotel in Vegas, take over the whole motherfucking hotel. And you party with like-minded people. And I would go to these bashes to perform. That's where a lot of my fan base and supporters from all over the globe, got a chance to come see me perform live, when I would attend these bashes, because it was at one central location where, everybody came to at this one particular time. So while we was at a bash, the Club Bounce family, because we was a crew, a fam, an organization back then. And I was very much a part of it. The homegirl Lisa Marie was at the head. I was as the queen. My AKA, my moniker at that time was the Prince of BBWism, on my way to kingmanship. So I was the young prince in the game. And I told Lisa Marie, I said, we was at one of these bashes, where I was doing a show. And I told Lisa Marie, hey man, when we get back to Cali, I was pumped up. That was my first bash. I said, man, when we get back to Cali, let's open up a strip club. And she was like, you think you can do that, Tree? I'm like, hell yeah. She was like, but I can't be out there, like that, because by that time she had created a public image, a persona for herself. She was all in magazines, TV, everything, with the success of Club Bounce. And so she said she couldn't be out there like that, associated with a a gentleman's club, a strip club like that. But she liked the idea, you know, and she was willing to give me opportunity at the club in Hollywood, the Volump City nightclub, which didn't take off. You know, she was gonna close that down, and we was gonna get the BBW club, strip club popping. So I was like, yeah, you just be a secret partner, you know. And she once again, she gave me my way. She just believed in me so much, and you know, was a very big motivator and supporter of mine from the beginning. You know, gave me a lot of opportunities, and like I say, anything I asked this woman for, she said yeah. Never told me no. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, you know, long as we just keep my name out the mix, you know, can't nobody know that I'm really involved in this. You know, so that was the agreement, that was the deal. And so I got to thinking as well too, damn, would this mess up my image? Because I'm like the rapper. I'm like the top rapper around the world for the big beautiful women, you know, for the BBWs. I was the prince of BBWism at that time. And I was like, damn, would this mess up my moniker? You know, would this mess up my image as well? So I started kind of getting like a little bit frightened as well too, you know, because I had been, you know, I was letting comments get to me at that time. You know, I'm new in the game. I'm looking what people got to say and stuff. And, you know, some people try to paint me as a pimp. And I'm like, how am I a pimp? You know, where did they get that from? You know, because, you know, I always had an entourage of women around me. Like, you know, it's like me and like 20 women around me, you know, which I never realized. I'm just living my life, you know, but people from the outside, they would come up to me and talk to me. And, you know, before they got to know me, they would tell me how they would view me. They would just see me and like 20 women around me at that time, 15 to 20 women every time they see me, you know. And so, you know, I got the moniker of being a pimp and all this other stuff. And so I was kind of fearful of opening the gentleman's club, you know, coming out as the forefront of it, associating it with my name per se, because I'm like, damn, man, they'll label me as a pimp. So at this time, I had a partner that I met within the BBW community called Pimp Daddy Reggie, and he's not a pimp either, ladies and gentlemen. You know, at the time, his real handle was Shy Reg, because he was kind of shy, you know, but he's a wonderful dude. But he used to really dress up, you know, he used to dress like a pimp. You know what I'm saying? You know, the whole little outfits and everything, the canes, the hats. So, you know, to where people thought he was really pimping, you know, because that's what the BBW community is. I don't want to say it's cosplay, but man, it's a world where you can just come, you know, live your life, be you. It's super duper positive. It's a lot of love, hella fun, people indulging in their pleasures, and just the happiness of life. So I think while Shy Reg was attending one of these BBW clubs or events, you know, somebody hollered out on the mic, oh yeah, man, that's Pimp Daddy Reggie. And so that name kind of stuck to him, and that became like his handle within the BBW community. So, you know, like I say, Pimp Daddy Reggie was flashy on the way he dresses. You know, he got real compliments, fur coats, canes, all that old stuff, man. Stacey Adams, brim hats. He was down to the T with it, right? So, I brought him aboard with me because people were comparing me to Snoop Dogg. And so I had him start doing my shows with me, you know, when I was doing shows for Big Beautiful Women. And so we was like the BBW version of Snoop Dogg and Pimp Magic Don Juan. Because you remember when Snoop used to have Don Juan with him on stage and stuff, they used to do shows together. So that's how me and Reggie used to tackle the game. So fast forward back to the me having opportunities to open up the BBW strip club. I thought, you know what? I could put Reggie as the forefront. You know, give him the opportunity, you know, to come on board in the business sense and make him a little money as well with this great business opportunity Miss Lisa Marie Garbo is giving your boy T.R.E.E. Right? And he got the whole thing. So if they think he pimping, so what? Like, we know what he ain't really doing, but it sort of just fitted him well. So I told Lisa Marie about it. She was cool with it. So I sort of went behind the scenes as well too. And we brought Reggie into the business meeting, told him about what we were doing and told him we wanted to put him as the forefront of it. And so that's what we did. And we took off and we opened up the very first BBW strip club. Yeah. And we called it the BBW Gentlemen's Club. And we had Topless Tuesday and all that. So while we're interviewing a lot of the women, to dance and audition for the club, I got experience in music, so I'm like on the mic doing the music for them to dance and stuff. And I'm up there announcing them, with the little ism and razzle dazzle, on my voice. And they really liked that. They was like, damn, Tree, when I was on stage, I felt real comfortable up there when you was on the mic. And so I was like, yeah, really? And so, I was really enthused about getting this thing up off the ground and, doing it right and doing it the best way possible where everybody felt comfortable. So I kind of came into the forefront again as like the DJ per se. And because initially we was going to have Skelly do it. And Skelly probably don't know to this day. That's my partner too. I know he was probably mad as hell because we told Skelly about it and he's about to be the official DJ for it, but he probably don't even really know the real reason why he sort of got like pushed out of it. But I'm about to tell everybody right now. And Skelly, you too, because Skelly my nigga, he's actually doing we sort of linked back up. That was my first official DJ, doing all my shows in the big beautiful women community. Vegas, traveling. That was my first official DJ right there, DJ Skeletor Jackson. But anyway, Skelly got sort of pushed out the mix because Lisa Marie figured if Skelly was associated with it, that people would know that Club Bounce is associated with the Gentlemen's Club, right, with the strip club, because he was her DJ. So that kind of like got Skelly pushed back, and so the women said that they feel comfortable with me on the mic. And I'm ready to, bust open this gate and be successful. So I was like, let's go. I'll be the goddamn DJ. And so, bam, we had the BBW Gentlemen's Club, the first BBW exotic dancer BBW strip club in the whole entire globe. 2005, 2006, the very first one. And it took off. I mean, it was nothing else like it going on in the world. So we had Chicago, New York, Florida, overseas, everywhere, just to experience it, and we had a very good run. It was very successful. We had a lot of fun and a lot of adult entertainers that you guys see out there in the game today. In the adult entertainment, they started right there with your boy TreeTvRadio at that BBW strip club, because that sort of like launched their careers and stuff like that into the adult entertainment game per se. So that was sort of like my first successful club venture, was the strip club. And then 2009 I linked up with my boy Zick at the time, and he wanted to open up a club and in Hollywood, and this is like around 2009. And he's like, my nigga, let's open up a club. You got all the knowledge, and you've been over there with Lisa Marie, because she gave me the blueprint, the gizame, all that. I did have that. So I was like, yeah, man, let's go. Let's bring it back to Hollywood. And so me and him collaborated, joined forces, hooked up, and brought them Bodacious Nights, to where we took it up a notch. We wanted to have red carpet events. We wanted to be elegant, gala style, just like Hollywood. So we got us a club in Hollywood, and we had red carpet events every Friday at Club Bodacious Nights. And we was doing it real big. And had a strict dress code. I'm talking about we in 3-piece suits, Stacy's, decked out. Vests, ties, bow ties, handkerchiefs, brim hats, all that old good stuff. We wanted the best for these big, beautiful women, and put on good presentation and representation to the whole world, how we was getting down. So I did the club with Bodacious Nights with Zick, and that was real successful, like I said. And yeah, that was sort of my introduction into the whole club game right there. You know, to where I start, you know, doing clubs and events and stuff like that. Sort of put the rapping on the back burner because I didn't want to be, you know, one of these guys that's, you know, late 30s, going into the 40s, talking about I'm still a rapper. Nah, I had a good run. I was successful in my 20s. Now it's time to move on to some other forms of entrepreneurship. So that was like basically my start into the whole club game. It led from me performing at the clubs to me doing parties, doing events, and doing, you know, my own little club nights. Yeah.
What do you think was your best event back then?
An event that I did or an event that I went to?
Mm-hmm. An event that you did.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you about the event that I did, and then an event that I went to as well too. That was one of my most memorable BBW events ever. Like, this shit was like a whole dream, you know. Like a whole dream. Sorry, I got a call. Yeah, this shit was like a whole dream. You know, I still can't believe it to this day, but I'm gonna tell you about that too. But my best event, that's kind of hard. I probably would say when I first went to Vegas, my whole introduction into the Vegas Bash. Like I said, that's the event where we locked down the hotel, and I think my first one was in 2006 at the Stardust. And so we locked down the Stardust. Thousands of people came from all over the world, and we had a ball. And that was my first time performing for all the people that have been watching me on the internet. You know, my rise to Fizzane and the BBW Gizane, making it known worldwide. Yeah. So that was probably my most memorable event my first show I did in Vegas. It was like my introduction to the whole worldwide BBW community, because that's where everybody from around the world came for that 1 week to party at the BBW Bash. So that was probably my most best and memorable event. Now, part two of that question is, you know, I wanted to share with you guys one of the best events that I went to. Like I said, my first bash was in 2006, and the next one, the first one was at the Stardust, right? So at that time in 2006, I think towards the later part, after we had the bash there, they tore down the Stardust. You know, it's one of the most famous hotels and casinos in Vegas. You know, back then, a lot of history with the Stardust. So they had tore it down, right? So when 2007 rolled around, for the next year at the BBW Bash, we got to find us a spizzot to party at. So they decided to do it at the Flamingo. And so, you know, I'm like pumped up because I done had a week of fun 2006 at the BBW Bash, performing for all these wonderful people, you know, making like lots of new great friends and stuff like that. And so I'm pumped up, you know. So the next year, 2007, we had the Flamingo. And I remember, you know, as soon as I rolled up to that thing with my bags, I check into my room and I drop my bags. Now the Flamingo is humongous. It's like, you know, to me it seemed like 10 times bigger than the Stardust. The Stardust was kind of like, you know, compact in a sense of, you know, everybody, we wasn't spread it out. Everybody could find everybody real easy. And basically we damn near locked down the whole hotel, so it wasn't nothing but us there. But at the Flamingo seemed 10 times more bigger to me. And so everybody was like spread it out. So I remember when I pulled up, you know, I checked into my room. I'm ready for this fabulous week. I'm about to party with all my friends. from the BBW community and also perform for them as well too. I got some new hot songs, and I'm just living a life, #1 top artist in the music game, rapping about BBWs. So I'm excited, right? And so I drop my bags, check into my room, drop my bags, and I'm like, hey man, where everybody at? I'm ready to see the people and stuff. They say, hey Tree, everybody's at the topless pool right now. And I said, nigga, what? What'd you say? They said, man, everybody's at the topless pool right now. And I said, man, it's a topless pool here? They said, yeah, man, you wouldn't believe it. So I get real excited. Right? I said, I couldn't even believe this. I said, man, they really got a topless pool out here in Vegas, where everybody's just topless, all the big, beautiful women. They was like, yeah, man. So I said, man, where it's at? So they showed me where it was at, right? So I damn near run to that mug, right? And lo and behold, I must have walked through that thing, and it was like an oasis. It was like heaven on earth. It was big, beautiful women everywhere, just laid out, sunbathing, topless, that sun glistening on their skin. I was like, oh my God. So, by that time, I'm a figure in the BBW community. I'm super duper popular. I'm like the #1 guy. So as soon as I come through the pool area, you got BBWs hopping out the pool, running up to me, giving me hugs. That was one of my things I was known for, was giving the best hugs. Cause I got these long arms. I'm 6'6", tall, wiry, and I could put these arms all the way around, a BBW, no matter how big she was. And a lot of women used to tell me, like, man, you give me the best hugs. Like, you wrap your arms all the way around me, Tree. I used to get up under their arms and give them a nice, big, good hug, right? So at that time, they hopping out the pool, running all up to me, hi Tree, and glad that, I'm there and stuff. And so they just giving me hugs after hugs after hugs. It's boobies flopping everywhere. I'm just in amazement, just having a good time. When it's all said and done, I finished hugging and greeting everybody. I was drenched, like I had jumped in the pool myself. You know what I'm saying? Because they just running up, hugging me, jumping out the pool and stuff like that. And one of the things I remember is that I guess the regular guests, like I say, the Flamingo is humongous hotel. And so we weren't the only people there. I think they had like a fireman convention there. They had other conventions going on there as well. So we weren't the only people in the topless pool. So I guess the other hotel guests were offended by, the big, beautiful women sunbathing topless, at the pool with them. So, they start grabbing their towels and leaving and stuff like that. So it was just all ours after that. And I was like, bye, motherfucker, bye. They with that weirdo stuff, say, okay, it's all ours now. And so we just had a ball from that point on. And that was probably my most memorable bash, in 2007 at the Flamingo. How many out there remember the 2007 Flamingo Biz Ash? Yeah.
And what were you working on when you're not doing the club scene? At least back then.
So 2009, I'm doing my thing with Zik and the club thing, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do per se. I was pretty much had a good run with the music, good run and doing, BBW clubs and stuff like that. And so I was just trying to figure out how to, expand myself, get into something else. And I wanted to start doing interviewing per se. I wanted to get into the radio game. Everybody always told me that I had a nice voice. I had a radio voice. So I wanted to start pursuing a career in radio, but at the same time, still keeping that advocation for big, beautiful women going full strong, have them involved per se. And so I started doing interviews. This is TreeTV. You know what I'm saying? This is TreeTV. This is 50. I moniker my thing. This is TreeTV. And so, I would pull back up to the BBW clubs that were going on at the time, doing interviews, putting the spotlight back on big, beautiful women. I had my run. I had the spotlight on me. It was a good run. I had fun. Now it's time for me to put the spotlight back on the big, beautiful women, because it's all about them. I was advocating for them. I had no intention on, I thought that like the spotlight would go to them when I first got in the game doing the music, but I got all the attention. I was like the superstar, the number one guy, and I felt uncomfortable because I'm like, man, I'm doing this. I'm not talking about myself in these songs. Like if you go back and dissect all my songs, I'm not saying talking about myself. You know, my ego wasn't involved in none of my songs. I was talking about my love, my appreciation, my advocacy for big, beautiful women and plus size ladies in my music. So it felt very uncomfortable for me to be in the spotlight per se. You know, I don't even really like attention like that. I thought the attention would go to them. But nah, I'm the guy that's rapping, that's, you know, making these songs and stuff like that. So of course it's gonna come to me. I'm like, damn, this kind of backfired. So I felt like this was an opportunity for me to put the spotlight back on big, beautiful women. So I started doing interviews, you know, and that's what I was basically doing for a while. And that led to another aspect per se that I got into, which is the photography. Because I was doing the videography. I was doing, you know, live interviews, you know, recording them. And at that time, you know, I was getting hit up to do photography, you know. And I was like, nah, I don't do photography. I just, you know, do this videography, and I'm just learning how to do this. And they was like, well, you take great videos. You know, I'm pretty sure you can take great pictures. And so that sort of like, you know, sparked me up. You know, light bulb went off in my head again. And so I start shooting big, beautiful women. And I start trying to set up, you know, shoots with demo models. I mean, you're a model yourself. You know how that works. You know, you got to set a time, location with the photographer, wooty-boo bam, blase, blase. You know, me, I'm like anxious. You know, I like to get stuff rolling. So I figure like, man, this is going to take me too long trying to set up these little shoots with these demo models for me to practice for my craft and get good. Right? And so once again, you know, I called on Miss Lisa Marie Garbo, because, you know, at this time, Club Bounce is still popping, still going on doing this thing. And at this time, she is in, I think, L.A. She was at the Wilshire spot, right? And I hit her up and told her, you know, what I was doing, that I was getting into photography and that I wanted to be her photographer at Club Bounce. And she said, no, Tree, you can't do that. You can't work for me. And I was like, why? She was like, well, how would that look to people if you work for me? She was like, you were like the superstar here and you're Tree. And I said, man, I don't care what nobody think, man. I'm trying to accomplish something. I'm trying to master this craft, you know? And so if I come to your club and shoot 300-400 women per night, you know, I'm gonna get better at my craft per se a lot faster versus booking one woman at a time, one demo model, then, you know, her canceling on me for whatever reason. It just took too much time. So, you know, once again, she gave me my way. You know, I got rid of her photographer at the time and let me slide up in there like swimwear. So that's where I became like an expert at shooting plus size women, and which launched me to work with lots of plus size women and launch a lot of plus size models into the game that you currently see today that have millions of followers and that are super, super successful. They started out with your boy, TreeTvRadio. Yay. You know, I was the first photographer to shoot them, to promote them, to market them, because I had a big marketing machine by that time, you know, with all my popularity and success with the music game and the clubs. So I had a vehicle to get them out there as far as marketing and notoriety. And I launched a lot of successful plus size modeling careers to date. And so that sort of led me into the photography aspect of it. And that's what I sort of did, you know, while I was away from the club game.
Okay. Now to the juicy part. What we're here for, what I'm here for. Club Super Thick. Explain that. What is that? What's that? The new movement? What you got going
Club
on with that?
Super Thick. Yay. Club Super Thick is a BBW club in California that I launched last year around I want to say the end of July, maybe. Like I said, I didn't at this time. I didn't even have any aspirations on getting into the club game, getting back into it. I had a good run. My whole focus was on radio. You know, even with Nikki, you know, me and her started doing podcasts together, and I was real excited about getting that, you know, up and running on a regular basis. And so that was like where my focus was. I was done with the photography per se, rapping, club promoting, doing BBW events. I was done with all that. You know, I had a good run. I was moving on to something else. I really wanted to pursue this radio game and have lots of success in it, as I did with all of my other business ventures. And so I just had that on my mind at the time. And I was approached by one of my childhood friends, you know, who always been trying to like get me back into the club game, you know, because he was mesmerized, you know, by the stuff I was doing. And I always turned him down. And we had got hit, you know, with this Corona thing. You know, we all got shut down, and I took a hard hit financially. You know, was stripped of everything, living off savings, all of those stuff. And by the time it lifted, I'm like, whoa, like what I'm gonna do? You know, so, you know, I got back on the grind, you know, 9 to 5s, you know, just grinding, you know, trying to stack and rebuild. And at that time, one of my childhood homies had hit me up, you know, who always been trying to get me back into the club game, who I always would turn down for my own reasons. And he said, man, I got a spot. You know, he said, man, let's get back in the club game, man. You got the blueprint. You got the game on that, man. Let's open up these BBW clubs, man. I found us a spot. Let's go into business together. And, you know, he had been successful, you know, in his businesses as well, too. He's the owner of like 4 or 5 businesses. And he said he had a spot in downtown Long Beach. So, you know, I'm restacking. I'm ready to get back on a good foot, you know. I'm out to get the bag, so I say, hey, let's go. You know, that no, all them prior no's previously to turn into a big yeah, like let's go. Because I got the blueprint on to make this happen, you know, and I had been out the game for a lot of years as far as the club game or whatever. So he had a spot on Mondays, and Monday would work for me because that was one of my off days. I wasn't willing to, you know, give up my 9 to 5 to go right into the club business. You know, had it been on a Saturday or whatever, I would have told him no. But he said this was on a Monday. I'm like, okay, let's go. You know, I'm off on Mondays. We can make this happen. So I decided to call the spot Super Thick Mondays. And basically it was at like a little bar and grill. It was like a club environment. We had a DJ, dance floor, food, pool, game room. You know, it was a more bar and grill type of little environment. And so, you know, the whole plan was for us to use this spot, you know, call it clubs Super Thick Mondays. It wasn't even Club Super Thick yet. It was called Super Thick Mondays, and sort of like a little lounge spot, you know. And it was sort of like my re-emergence back into the BBW scene and the BBW club game. You know, this is an opportunity for me to get my feet wet, let people know that I was back in the game and to create a buzz. And so I started reaching out to all my old contacts, hitting them up like, yeah, man, I'm back in the game. Got a little spot over here in downtown Long Beach, Super Thick Mondays. Come holler at your boy. You know, so all my people start coming out, supporting. We create the buzz, right? And the guy who we was dealing with over there, you know, it was kind of like, you know, the owner of that spot. It was kind of like some shady things going on, some stuff I didn't like. A couple of other incidents has happened, and I was ready to cut ties, and we had only signed a 2-month contract, which I thought was cool. I said 60 days. I had set everything up and signed, just a 60-day contract. So we just had that 60 days to fulfill. So I was like, yeah, man, we just gonna use this spot to create the buzz, and by the 60th day, we're gonna slide into something else. So we over there having Super Thick Mondays, which I know you saw on the internet, and it's taking off. It's creating a buzz. People like the name Super Thick. That's a name I helped coin back in the day from one of my homegirls. Her name was Super Thick Mommy, and I teamed up with my homeboy DB Goody, and we made a song called She's Super Thick, and that song went to #1 on MySpace, just all over the globe. So that's where I got the name from. I said, man, I'm coming out with Club Super Thick, since that was one of my hit BBW songs, and a lot of people remember that. It sort of had its own vibe and magic and energy per se, back in the MySpace days, because it was a hit. And we had the Super Thick Mondays pop in, and it's getting towards the 60-day contract end, and I'm ready to go. And I'm looking for another spot, stuff like that. And for whatever reason, my childhood homie, he don't want to go. Like, we should stay right here. I said, man, I'm up out of here, man. It just wasn't a safe spot for people, for my people at least. A lot of riffraff start showing up, and I'm just not with that. I'm with the grown, folk type business, just indulging in pleasures, having fun. I'm not with no riffraff and no negativity. I did that in my earlier stages of my life. It don't benefit nobody, So he actually wanted to stay there, and we politely cut ties, and I'm like, man, I'm off, to find something bigger and better, and that's when I think like the universe came and blessed me, because I was able to get the old club bounce spot where I started out at 20 years ago. The first stage I ever graced, was at this spot to perform for Big Beautiful Women. And, my homegirl Lisa Marie had it at the time. And it was on. That's how I knew this was like a universal calling, because like I said, I had no intentions on getting back into the club game until my homeboy came and, woke me up out of my little stupor or sleep or whatever. And bam, and I'm like 1 foot in. I'm like, okay, I could have just walked away after the 60-day thing with Super Thick Mondays, and I'm like, hey, I'm all in now. And me, I'm the type of person, I'm determined, and I like hitting home runs. And so I kept going, and I was able to get the old club bounce spot, where I started 20 years ago. First stage I performed on for BBW, so I knew this was like a universal calling and blessing as well. And that's when I brought the club Super Thick, because now we on Saturdays, like a regular club day. This is like a regular club. It was probably the most popular club in Southern California at one time for BBWs. This is the club I was telling you about in the beginning, that's connected to the hotel, where people used to fly in from all over the globe. Yeah. Where my homegirl had it Fridays and Saturdays. I got that spot. So that's where we currently are right now with Club Super Thicks. But we do once a month events, red carpet, premium style BBW events there. And that's basically how Club Super Thick got started.
And how was the masquerade ball you guys had?
Yeah, we just had a New Year's Eve masquerade ball. The first event we had was October, and that was the Halloween event. We had a Halloween bash, and actually this is it playing on the screen right now. If you guys are looking at this video, this is our first event. That video that's been playing in the background the whole time, that's Club Super Thick. And we had the Halloween bash. It's real fun. A lot of people came out dressed up. Saw a lot of my friends I hadn't seen in years, over a decade. So it was fun to reunite with them as well. And we had a good turnout on a Super Bomb event. And we had a lot of hotel rooms booked because after the BBW club is the after parties. The after parties is in the hotel rooms, you know. You party all the way to the 6 in the morning, you know. So, yeah, I had people come, fly in. You know, they was able to stay at the hotel and party with us at Club Super Thick. So we had the Halloween event in October. Our next event, October, November, was King and Queen night. No, wait. Damn, I'm forgetting my own events. Okay, so yeah, we had October King and Queen night, because I'm going by months, because we did 2 in 1 month. So I'm trying to like, because we didn't do November. Okay, so yeah, that's what it was. Because I'm like, damn, okay, the next October, so the next month is November. So we didn't do one in November because we figured that was the, holiday, Thanksgiving and stuff. And we're doing them once a month, so we did it towards the latter part of November. So we decided to do an event on December 3rd. So we skipped November, went to December 3rd. We had King and Queen night, red carpet style events. And had a lot of fun at that event as well, too. And then the next event was the New Year's Eve Masquerade Ball. And so that's the last event we had, which was a lot of fun as well, too. Not as big as a turnout I would have hoped for, and that was due to unforeseen circumstances, per se. We had a big storm. I don't know if you guys been hearing about the cyclone bomb or whatever the hell they call this storm that came to Cali. It hit us, that night, New Year's Eve. And the parking lot was flooded. And it was just hard for people to get around in general. And then you got all these BBWs, walking around with all that lusciousness with these high heels. While it's pouring and raining and flooding, that could become like some obstacles. I spent a large part of my time like running outside with the umbrella, helping a lot of ladies in. A lot of ladies were drenched by the time they got in, and, they had to wear tennis shoes. They couldn't wear their whole outfits. Some people were so rained in, it was so flooded by their houses, they was like, man, I'm not going out in this rain. So they just stayed home. But for the turnout that we had, it was pretty good. Quite a few people still came out, had a good time, had a super duper successful New Year's Eve Masquerade Ball. People dressed up. I'm currently editing the pictures right now for the New Year's Eve Masquerade Ball, and they'll be up shortly, ladies and gentlemen. I know I got to get on my game. I'm sorry. I'm still a working man over here. I work, damn near 6-7 days a week. And I'm the only one over here editing these pictures, and that takes time. I'm not just taking pictures, throwing them up on the internet. I want them to be premium. I want them to be the best. So, as I take professional pictures with the Super Bombay red carpet, I edit them as well, too. And so that takes a little bit more time as well. But probably by the end of this week, all the rest of the pictures should be edited and up on our website. You can get them at Instagram at Club Super Thick. So yeah, we had the New Year's Eve Masquerade Ball, which was a success.
Why do you have such a passion for BBWs?
Well, for number one, I think they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's just many things, man. I just think BBWs are like the best cooks, the best personalities. They're like super duper down to earth. And I don't know, it's just like some of the greatest women I've ever met and been around. and that's like part of the passion. And then I felt like, some that I like so much and that I respect so much is getting discriminated in this world. And I got a problem with that. So I did everything within my power to become a positive outlet for these big, beautiful women. Let them know that somebody is cheering for them. Out here, somebody is fighting for their rights. And it is millions of men around the globe who feel the same way I do. I became like a voice for the men, per se, from all the emails I got. And, I helped some men come out the closet, per se, if that's what you want to closet them, hiding their love and affinity for a big, beautiful woman. It got more comfortable for them to step out because this thing is getting popular now. This is getting worldwide notoriety, per se. It's getting accepted in a sense, So I paved the way for a lot of dudes to wear it across their chest, because that's what I used to do, wear it across my chest, and I wasn't afraid, if they were some women and people you think fat is a derogatory word. I'm like, it's not a derogatory word to me. I used to have t-shirts that said, I love fat women. Like, hats, all that old stuff. Like, that's just what I like. There's fat and there's skinny. I happen to be attracted to fat, and I don't feel like that's a negative word, per se. So I just used to tell it like it is. And me fighting for them became like a passion, and it felt good. It felt good. I'm a little bit, calm and mild mannered now, but when I was, in my 20s in the game, I was like almost like a BBW gang member. I was out there banging with this thing, And you better not have said anything wrong about a big, beautiful woman on my watch, or around me, because I was smashing you straight up. But I've calmed down in my latter years, per se. I'm more smooth, cool, calm, collective. I mean, you still can't disrespect beautiful women on my watch, but I take different means to get situations handled, per se, rather than I did back in the day, because I was putting the smash down. Like, these big girls didn't have nothing to worry about, when I was at the forefront doing my thing, and you better not have said nothing negative about them. Because you was getting smashed up too. So it just became, and the emails, oh my goodness, thousands. Like, that was the reward right there. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm getting chill bumps just thinking about it now. Like, the letters I got from men and women all over the globe, saying how I've helped their life in a positive way. I helped them through this, helped them through that. That was the reward right there. That's when I figured out what the key to life was, per se. And to me, the key to life is your ability to make others happy in life. And I had that great ability, which added much joy to my life, which added more passion to it, and I can go on just far as like, different aspects, of my passion for big, beautiful women. Like I said, I think they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Like, but yeah, it's always been a love deep and affinity for these women,
It's much appreciated. So what was your best moment of 2022?
My best moment of 2022 was getting the spot I started out at, Club Bounce, PCH Club, and having it to open Club Super Thick. A lot of people don't get, like, oil don't strike twice. You know, if you're lucky, you get one good run, but that's it. Like, you even see people that had like a good run and try to come back out later on, but it's not like the same thing. It don't reach the same buzz as it did priorly. Don't have the same success. I feel like I've struck oil twice. Like, a lot of people don't get a second run. I had a good run already. And now I'm getting another opportunity. And I think this is what the BBW community needed at this time, per se, because it wasn't too much going on in California as far as the BBW scene. A lot of people got older and retired, and, the buzz kind of left. And we were once the mecca of BBW clubbing, partying, all that. Like, it all started right here from Shadow Grise, who opened up Club Curves, the first BBW club in history. Yeah. Shout out to Miss Shadow Grise. She mad at me right now, but hey, life goes on. Yeah, so that was my best moment of 2022. Is acquiring Club Super Thick at the spot that I started out 20 years ago, which was Club Bounce, the PCH club. Brought back a lot of memories, and I'm super duper excited, going into this new year with all the things we got coming up. Yay.
Which brings us to the next and final question. What do you got planned for 2023?
We got lots and lots and lots. We got a lot of things planned for 2023. We're going into merch. This year we will have Club Super Thick merch. So we will start off with t-shirts, tank tops, t-shirts for the guys. I love super thick women. Tank tops for the ladies. Some mugs. Little stuff like that. So, we're going to have our merch site take off in 2023. Club Super Thick merch coming to you, ladies and gentlemen. So be ready for that. So people that, not able to get to the club or come to the club for what reason, you still get to experience it. You get to have a Club Super Thick shirt or a hat, or a tank top, and represent, because even though you may not be here with us, man, you're here in spirit, and everybody's family who love and support, what we doing, this Club Super Thick movement. Yay. And so that's one of the things. We're also we got a Club Super Thick podcast, that I launched, and we're going to be doing a lot of shows on that, and probably have Nikki, lovely Leslie 423 on Instagram, right here, involved in that as well. Nikki is one of my co-hosts. We do shows on a regular basis. How long ago did we start out doing a little podcast together, Nikki?
Wow.
Huh?
I want to say we're in January. I think the first time might have been 2 years ago this month.
Yeah. So yeah, about 2 years. So, me and Nikki are going to get our thing back up and running. Bringing the people some hot podcasts and shows about some interesting topics here in 2023. Then we also got a Club Super Thick Bash coming up. We're probably going to lock down that whole hotel because, people are familiar with the PCH club, but that location has 2 other spots. It has a big marina ballroom and like a second ballroom in there. And we have access to all these locations within that vicinity. So we're going to be bringing them a Club Super Thick Bash where we party for like a whole weekend. And
wow!
The whole hotel.
I gotta be around for that one. Wait a minute.
yeah, that's the one you should come to when we lock it down like that. Where people
definitely.
People flying from all over the globe, and then we'll have 2 bomb party nights like right there, using whichever venue we want to use, and bam, the after parties and back in the hotel room, and we just lock down that whole facility. It holds like 180 rooms. Pool, jacuzzi rooms, great rates, connected to the club, free parking, super BBW friendly. Yeah, we like in there like swimwear. Yeah. So we're gonna be doing some Club Super Thick bashes for the people out there. That's another thing we got coming in 2023. Yeah. And we're gonna be bringing sort of like a, I guess you want to call it like a reality TV show per se, metaverse type thing. We're gonna be filming in virtual reality at the club, so people can experience Club Super Thick in virtual reality, like you're really there. Put on your virtual reality goggles and feel like you're on the dance floor.
That's different.
Yeah, and so Club Super Thick is going to be going into the metaverse, and also we're just going to be streaming a lot per se. We're going to turn like Club Super Thick into like a reality TV show per se, where we have a lot of visuals, video of what we're doing up online. Live streams as well too. You'll be able to tap in while we partying at the club, live stream, even in virtual reality. So yeah, one of my monikers for Club Super Thick is that we're not a nightclub. We're not just a nightclub. We a whole movie. People out there, you come play your part, because we got the cameras, lights, action, we rolling, and we putting on a presentation for the world to see. The world is watching. They watching for show. So we just got to give them the content now. So yeah, we're gonna have like a Club Super Thick, reality TV show per se for all the party people. Yeah.
I definitely got to check that out.
And yeah, we got our podcast, the Knick-Knack TreeTvRadio show. We're gonna be bringing to the people live and direct as well too. So that's coming in 2023 as well.
Definitely. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add? When's your next bash?
We don't have dates at this moment. I'm actually getting all that together right now, and then we're gonna update our websites with just a list of all the event dates and everything. It's a lot of time and preparation that goes into throwing this event. It's a lot of money too, mind you that, for all the people out there watching my pockets, yeah, I'm deep in the red. That's what I said. My name ain't Fred. But basically, it really ain't about the money per se. Like I said, we've been hit with a hard 2 years. I'm just happy and blessed, and I figured the universe gave me this opportunity to do this for like a lot of mental healing. We've been through a lot. We was locked down for 2 years. We've lost a lot of loved ones. We've been through a lot mentally, psychologically, and now it's time for us to heal. Mm-hmm. And so I figured that, my energy that I bring, the positivity that I bring was, something that could help the people heal. And I think that was part of the universe helping me acquire this club per se, having me a location, where I could hold court of this fabulous mental healing that we all definitely need. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. That's
Well, thank you for answering all those questions I gave you.
For shizzle. I was happy to do that interview. Like I said, it was my first time. I know I probably was all over the place because this is a whole bunch of stuff that I probably left out. But we only got so much time. Maybe some other time I can go more in depth with the stories and details. To help people connect the dots and stuff like that. About my whole journey within this BBW community, and it's still going strong. It's still going strong. We got a lot of exciting things coming up, and I can't wait to my sis Knick-Knack here be able to come out and party with us. Yay. Where you gonna be coming from, Knick-Knack? Tell the people where you from.
I am from New York.
NYC?
Boogie Down Bronx.
Hell yeah. So yeah, Knick-Knack gonna be coming out here, to one of these up and coming future Club Super Thick bashes. And we're gonna have a lot
I want to go to That one where you have the party for the whole weekend. That's the one I want to go to.
Yeah, we're gonna lock it down for a whole weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to all the party people out there, all the Club Super Thick fam supporters that been helping your boy get this thing up off the ground. Shout out to Candy Girl. It's been a big help and inspiration. That's her who be doing all the decoration, the event coordinating, getting this thing up to a very excellent premium level. You know, a lot of hard work, detailed work goes into it, you know, customized stuff, you know, for the people out there, name plaques on the table, you know, lights and, you know, all kind of little nice little trinkets to decorate the table and stuff to make the people really feel, you know, as they should be treated, which is super duper good. You know, one thing I like about the BBW community, you know, I used to tell people like, man, it almost feel like church. You know, you walk to the club and by the time you finish, you done gave out like 300 hugs. Or that was my experience. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much love. Everybody coming up, you know, hugging you, showing love, you know, partying the night away, partying all your stresses away, indulging in pleasures of life, having fun, you know, no negativity. I've never experienced 1 ounce of negativity being in the BBW community. And I think that's sort of like, it was my safe haven. You know, it was one of the things that helped me stay the positive man I had become and not really encounter no bullshit negative situations that could have got me back incarcerated. You know, these BBWs have been a blessing in so many ways. That's why I give them my all. You know, they're a power source to me, and I be tapping into their power source, you know, doing good for them, knocking down barriers, super duper advocating for them, you know, letting them know that they do count. They are loved. They should be treated like everybody else in the entire planet. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. You know, that was like I said, that was my whole moniker back in the day. So whatever mainstream doing, okay, yeah, BBWs, we doing that too. You know what I'm saying? You got strip clubs? Oh, ain't no BBW strip club? Okay, man, we finna have one of them. Oh, you guys having these red carpet Hollywood events? Oh, the BBW's not invited? Okay, we finna have BBW red carpet even in Hollywood. Bam, we're kicking in the dough. We here. We ain't going nowhere.
There you go.
So yeah, just it's on to bigger and better things, man. You know, from here on out. Like I said, I look forward to you coming and partying with us, so you can experience this super duper positive, fun vibe, indulging in the pleasures of life that we got up over here.
Looking forward to it.
You know? Yeah. So you ladies and gentlemen, that's Leslie's Instagram handle on top of her name. Lovely Leslie 423. You know, for all the fellas, she's a model. Yeah, fellas, don't be hitting me up in the backdrop. She right here. You can add her Instagram. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is add in Lovely Leslie 423, and then you can see everything you need. You ain't even gotta ask T or double E and bother me. Yeah, man, it'd be so funny. These dudes, they be a lot of dudes, they be hitting me up about you ladies, left and right. I'm like, man, she right there. Go talk to her. You know? But you trying to use me as a oh, you didn't got the cold shoulder, huh? Oh, you must ain't presented yourself right, Playboy. Now you trying to come in on my line, huh? You know? Yeah. So you want to get some shout outs too before we end this? What you got up and coming, Les?
Just same old. I am working on something that's going to be completely different than what people are used to coming from me. But I'm not going to say much because I'm working with somebody on it, and it's basically in the kitchen. So it's definitely completely different, but I'm excited about it. I'm in the Northeast, so this specific thing you can't find in the Northeast at all. So I'm hoping it takes off. But it's gonna take some time, some practice, and stuff like that. But once I get a little more into it and figure everything out, then I'll speak more on it. But I'm definitely excited. 2023. I don't know what it's gonna bring, but I'm optimistic. Positive vibes all the way, and I guess the trip to California this year is coming my way. So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
excited. And as far as shout outs, anybody who rocks with me, and if you don't, so be it. Positive vibes. It's all love.
it's all love. And if you don't, you're probably gonna be rocking out with us in the near future because you're gonna realize, like, damn, they over there living life to the fullest. They manifesting their dreams. They coming true. They having a good time. They indulging in the pleasures of life. I want to be a part of that. Like you had to be a lunatic if you didn't want nothing like that. So if you don't want none of this up over here, I'm be like, yo, you know what? Maybe that person is just a lunatic. Maybe they just a lunatic, and maybe one day they'll wake up and come up out of their lunatic stages, and man, come party with us. Come enjoy this aspect of life, where you live free of all your worries, your inhibitions, and just enjoying life. Because they trying to make it hard for us, ladies and gentlemen. So we got to devise ways to stay on top of the game, mentally and spiritually. So yeah, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. You want to close out, Les? Thank you for interviewing me. I was really excited for you to interview me. I know we've been talking about this for a while, and I was like, yeah.
I know. It finally happened. No, it was fun. A lot of stuff I didn't even know about you, so it was definitely interesting. I think there needs to be a part 2, though.
Yeah, part two. We can go in depth because I know a lot of people are going to be having questions about certain things, this timing and that timing. And because, the BBW community has its own little soap opera side as well, too. Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah. Shout out to all the party people out there. Like I said, at Leslie on Instagram, fellas. Lovely Leslie. 423 is right there on the top. I'll even make it bigger for you if you guys can't see it. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. Put it real big for you fellas. Booyah. At lovely Leslie 423. Hit sis up on Instagram. Yeah. Shout out to all the party people out there. Like I said, we're gonna be coming back in a week or so with updated information about all our events taking place in 2023 with Club Super Thick, and also with the Club Super Thick podcast and the Knick Knack and Tree podcast as well too. And we also got Candy Girl co-hosting, on the podcast with us. Big shout out to Candy Girl. Yay. Party people out there, you got any questions about anything, hit me up at clubsuperthick@gmail.com. Once again, that's clubsuperthick@gmail.com, or hit me up on my Facebook page or my Instagram page too. Make sure you add our Instagram page at Club Super Thick. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, add our Instagram page at Club Super Thick. That's where we put all our fabulous photos and video that we take. All our content is on our Instagram page at Club Super Thick. Yeah. Shout out to all the party people out there. Say bye-bye to the party people out there, Les.
Bye, guys.
You party people out there, have a good one. This your friendly neighborhood partner, Mr. TreeTvRadio. And this was a tell-all interview. Stay tuned for part 2 with my co-host, lovely Leslie at 423 on Instagram, a.k.a. Miss Knick Knack. Yay. You party people out there, have a wonderful rest of your evening. And thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and comment.